Hey, Chrissy here. I am a landscape architect and the owner of Kismet Design. I am a very process-driven designer, and I love sharing what I do and how I do it with anyone who's interested. Reaching your true potential and achieving your own personal goals will not happen by chance. You have to set your intentions, make a plan, and do the work. Thank you for joining me to nerd out on design. Don't forget to subscribe and to share too. Let's create something great together. Everything is hard before it is easy. Each new skill, each chapter of our businesses and our lives will bring new challenges that at first can seem impossible, but retrospectively will become easy. It can be difficult to have this perspective when you are feeling stuck in the mud, scared, struggling, or just starting out. But time is our best tool of perspective. As I think back on what I used to find hard, I find myself giggling a bit. Some of the things that scared me the most now feel mundane and routine. Intellectually, I know that what is difficult and scary now, in turn, won't always be. But it can be challenging to remind myself of that, and I know you feel the same. We overcome challenges through action. Action does not come without motivation or inspiration. I am someone who has considered myself a perfectionist, for good or bad, for the majority of my life. Not knowing what the steps are or what the outcome of a decision will be can feel paralyzing. Trust me, I know. I find a lot of peace and comfort by preparing, and sometimes over preparing. But you might ask, what if I don't even know what it is that I'm preparing for? The next step is sometimes the only step that you can see in front of you. Or maybe it's just the only one that feels reachable and realistic. Don't be afraid to take that one step. I find that talking through the challenge that I'm facing is often the best way to figure out that next step. Whether it's talking to yourself, talking to a friend or a colleague, just going through that circle and that sometimes what feels like a spiral, talking to yourself and asking those questions is what you need to find that clarity. For example, there have been multiple times in my business, even recently, where I have found myself feeling either swamped or unable to decide what direction to go next for. Even for things like podcast topics, blog ideas, client outreach, contractor selection, social media posts, the list goes on. I'm sure you've got a lot of the same things and more on your list. After talking with friends and colleagues, sometimes even ones who are going through similar challenges, we can both find the ability to answer our own dilemmas oftentimes. Sometimes it takes multiple questions and prompts to dive deeper on the goals and the intentions. It all circles back to the core motivation for why you are doing the thing. Gotta love a good Simon Sinek reference. It all starts with why. Why do you want to start your own business? Why do you want to expand your offerings? Why do you want to learn that new skill? Why do you want to? You name it. You have to ask yourself those questions. The bigger the idea or the goal, the more daunting it can be. But don't let that stop you from taking action. Breaking a big goal into smaller chunks makes each step more attainable and less overwhelming. We all have goals we are striving for. Some might be just at your fingertips and you can almost feel it, while others are so far in the horizon line that you can barely see it even when you squint. We all operate our businesses within the context of our lives as well, which sometimes can make some of those loftier goals and sometimes even the easy ones seem further and further out of reach. Be it juggling a business in a recession, being a new parent, moving to a different area, dealing with illness or other health problems for ourselves or loved ones, navigating things like divorce or your kids moving out or back in, adjusting to transitions in life like perimenopause. There are so many things that add challenges to sometimes what is already pretty challenging. What is the thing that you find the hardest, most scary, most daunting right now that you really want to make progress on? As you think of that thing, I want you to write down or at least talk it through what that narrative is that you are telling yourself about it and do some fact checking. And I mean real fact checking. What are the actual facts? What are the emotions? And what are the assumptions or lies that you might be telling yourself about that action or your ability to achieve that action? Maybe you feel like you're not ready. Maybe you feel like you're not good enough. You don't have the right skills. Maybe you don't have the right connections or contacts. A lot of those things are not true facts. So, differentiating that for yourself is important. Now, ask yourself why you want to make progress or take action on that goal or task. And sometimes you have to ask yourself why, or have a friend or a colleague ask you why over and over and over again, like an incessant 2 year old asking their mom, but why, but why, but why? You have to really ask multiple times to really get down to that deep, juicy core of what is the motivation for why you want that thing. And then, lastly, and most importantly, what is one baby step you can make towards that goal? It can be tiny, it can be the turning of a page, the organization of something, the sending one little email to reach out or make a connection, or a phone call. It can just be, that one social media post that talks about something new. You name it. There's always a tiny baby step that you can take to get yourself a tiny bit closer to that goal. We all need to hear this and follow this guidance at various times, often more often than we would like to admit. There are times when looking at the entire staircase is overwhelming, but the first step, yeah, I can definitely do that one step. Finding the possibilities, remaining positive, and identifying the actionable item can change what seems like an obstacle into an opportunity. Just like when you're working on a design and you've got that tricky situation where the slopes don't align perfectly and you've got to do iteration after iteration after iteration of sketches. But then that one little tweak makes all the difference in setting up what turns into a beautiful design. No one is actually an overnight success. They all started somewhere, and they all had struggles along the way. The quote, overnight success story that you hear about is often 10, 20, sometimes 30 years in the making. It is only that breakout action or result that is visible or noted, not the behind the scenes grit, failures, struggle, self doubt, baby steps that got them there. It's those tiny baby steps along the way that add up to big steps and big results. So, my call to action for you today is to go through this exercise, take some time, write it out, really do some digging, and ask yourself why until it's annoying. And then I want you to reach out to me and let me know how it worked for you. Let me know the goal and the baby step you identified. Even better, if you've already taken that baby step. Feel free to share it privately with me. I love it. Or better yet, post it and tag Process Driven Designer on social. I would love to see all of the amazing people who support this podcast also supporting you. We can motivate each other and cheer each other on. This podcast is officially 3 years old as I record this, which seems completely surreal, but very, I don't know, exciting and inspiring that I've been doing this for that long. I've been a designer for what feels like forever. I mean, more than half of my life now, but the podcast still feels real. There still feels new to me. So 3 years seems like a long time. And so I just want to thank each of you for tuning in, for reaching out with ideas, and for reaching out just to let me know that you enjoy listening. I appreciate you more than you ever know. So thank you. And I look forward to hearing all your guys' success stories and those baby steps that you're all taking to strive towards your goals. To wrap up, I want to thank you for your time. I hope the ideas discussed today have left you feeling excited and energized. As I build both my business and my life, I value the support and feedback you provide. I would love for you to reach out to me to let me know what you think, give me ideas, or just to connect. Please don't forget to subscribe and also share with a friend. Until next time, go create something wonderful.